While aircraft manufacturers are always inserting the phrase best-selling aircraft into the marketing language for their most popular jets, they would never want to draw attention to their worst sellers. We recently took a look at the Boeing jets that weren't exactly big hits with airline customers. Let's now take a look at the planes that Airbus has had trouble selling. Let's first start small and take a look at the Airbus A318, affectionately known as the baby bus. At a length of just 31.4 meters or 101 feet, the A318 is the smallest member of the single-aisle A320 family. This jet has racked up a paltry 80 orders, flying with airlines such as Air France, British Airways and Romania's Tarom. In contrast, the A319ceo had accumulated orders for nearly 1,500 jets, and for the A320ceo, that number is over 4,700. Beyond its 10% range boost above the A320, the A318's big selling feature was its exceptional commonality with other A320 family jets, A319, A320 and A321. This would allow for much more streamlined crew training and maintenance. Its downfall largely came from its classification. Although the plane maker hoped to make the A318 a regional jet alternative, regulations in both the US and Europe placed it in the same class as larger aircraft. Thus, its cost-to-passenger ratio suffered when calculating landing fees and other weight-related charges. Designed throughout the 1970s and 80s, the A340 was Airbus's attempt at a high-capacity, long-range aircraft suited for transoceanic operations. Its four-engine design was meant to bypass ETOPS regulations of the time. Unfortunately, having four engines would detract from its popularity, as ETOPS restrictions were eventually adjusted and allowed for longer-distance flights with two-engined aircraft. Suddenly, aircraft like the Boeing 767 and eventually the 777 would become much more attractive options, requiring less maintenance while burning less fuel. Airbus had a total of 375 A340 family deliveries. Its worst seller was the A340-200 with just 28 orders, followed by the Dash 500 with 32 orders. In contrast, the twin-engine model developed parallel to the A340, the A330ceo, had racked up orders for nearly 1,500 jets. This popularity allowed Airbus to continue the program as the A330neo. We should note, however, that the shorter A330neo, the Dash 800, hasn't been a hot seller. In fact, it's only had orders for 15 units. The aircraft is relatively new, and thus sales may pick up once airlines retire their A330-200s. Then, of course, there's the super jumbo we're all familiar with, the Airbus A380. We've perhaps covered the unpopularity of this jet more than we'd like to. This four-engine double-decker behemoth only managed to acquire orders for 251 aircraft, having had several cancellations along the way. A single operator, Emirates, accounts for nearly half of all orders. Its lack of popularity has largely been seen as bad timing, entering service at a time when point-to-point travel was becoming more popular as opposed to the hub-and-spoke network model. Other well-documented drawbacks include its size category and limited access to airports, as well as high operating costs such as fuel and maintenance. As times move forward, plane makers like Boeing and Airbus have almost certainly been taking note of these costly failures, working towards designing the right aircraft for airline customers, which are more likely to draw higher sales. Does our list of Airbus's worst-selling aircraft surprise you? Let us know in the comments. Did you know that we publish over 175 stories every single week on simpleflying.com? Be sure to check the link in the description for more great stories just like this. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe before you go.